football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey A.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Thank you, Mikey A. Billy Gill is fired up. Billy Gill has gone
fired up.
I mean, he has gone out of his way to say he does not want to turn this into a Jet show every week.
That's true.
Yet I walk in this morning and Billy is fired up about the Jets. What happened to you this weekend, man? I mean,
if I'm going to be honest, it's very selfish, and it's because we do this segment on the main show called Against the Spread, and against the spread, I picked the Jets plus 10.5.
Right.
And I was mocked, and they even stopped the segment so much and told me, you need to take this more seriously.
Yeah.
So I was rooting so hard for that to cover, and it did. And it did. And even if Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have slid at the 2-yard line and scored that touchdown, it still would have worked for me.
Well, this is important because at the time you made that pick, the Jets were plus 10.5.
Correct.
By the time kickoff rolled around last night, they were -8.
Really?
I mean, the Chiefs were -8. The Jets were getting 8 points. So Patrick Mahomes in that moment broke many people's hearts.
Oh, yeah. No.
Mine included, by the way.
Even at -9.5, it would have covered. Yeah. I actually turned to my wife and I said, oh, man, that's going to cause a lot of problems. She's like, why? And I'm like, the line. The line. He just had to walk right in. So much so, by the way, that if you listen to our show on Fridays, Carl Douglas picks games with us. Carl Douglas was texting us at like midnight Eastern
weird.
time about that game, that play, and the line. Yeah, it's incredible.
He was texting us about a bad beat, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Carl Douglas. What a weird show we put together. Billy, the Dolphins, I know.
Wow, that's it? That's it on the Jets? There's so much in that game.
All right. I mean, we could talk about it. I do want to get to the Dolphins and
South
Bills.
Gardner got screwed. Can I say that? Sorry if I can't.
Well, I mean, the Jets kind of got screwed. The Jets played well. The defense played good enough.
Zach didn't look bad.
Zach looked pretty good. But the Jets, it was a terrible, terrible call. A phantom holding call towards the end of that game on Sauce Gardner. The refs had no business making that call. And really, in the end, you can talk about Zach Wilson's fumble, and he owned it. And he said, I cost my team the victory. And you want to hear that from Zach Wilson, especially what happened last year with him and the media after games. But that call was just, you have two teams fighting, scrapping, clawing. The Jets are plus 10.5. The Chiefs may be the best team in football. And after, 3 hours of playing, I hate that it comes down to those types of things, Billy. I do. I can't stand that.
Well, the last drive was a flag every other play.
Yes.
And most of them seemed to benefit the Chiefs. Not to say that, the fix was in. But that run that Patrick Mahomes had on like 3rd and 22 or whatever it was, where he covered the 22 yards, and then you see a flag and you're like, oh, okay, this has to clearly be a hold, which there was a hold. It wasn't called anyways.
Right. There was easily a hold.
It's like there has to be a hold.
But Taylor's not showing up for losses. We know that. So, I mean.
Like Taylor Swift, I would consider myself Swiftie adjacent.
Yeah.
I've been to Taylor Swift concert. It was incredible.
Was it really?
Not this past one. I couldn't afford this one. But the previous tour, pre-COVID, went to that. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. Great show. Yeah. What a performer. Mm-hmm. Too much Taylor.
What do you mean?
17 times they showed her.
So,
really?
17 times on the NBC broadcast. Somebody counted.
Did you see? I don't know if you guys caught it, and I pointed it out to my wife because my wife was like, she was sitting down on the couch and she saw on Instagram, like, she's like, oh, Taylor's there. I'm like, I know. I've seen her 50 times already. Like, it's way too much. There was one time that it almost seemed like they had a Taylor cam the entire game on her, right? They had to have had a Taylor cam on her the entire game in production. And it was like a Patrick Mahomes interception or something where it was like an eighth of a second that she came on the screen. And it was like, this is just like subliminal messaging that they're doing here, like for her movie. Because we were going out of or into commercial with a scene of Taylor into a commercial for Taylor Swift's movie that's coming out October 13th. It's just incredible.
I got to be honest, having Taylor Swift at your game, Taylor Swift makes the NFL better. There, I said it. She does. The game feels bigger. It does.
Yeah, like the president. When the president goes to the game?
Bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, would you rather have Biden or Taylor Swift at your game? Honestly.
Diana Rossini talked to Taylor. Well, she screamed hi at Taylor, and Taylor said hi back, and that was that.
Well, that counts.
Yeah, I mean, it counts.
That's a conversation.
It's a full conversation. Best friends.
Yeah. Anyway.
It was a tough loss. Mike, what'd you make of Zach Wilson? Like, that's the best Zach Wilson's looked. Mike, when you give Zach Wilson or any quarterback time, and he had time last night, it took him a minute, but mid-second quarter on, he was really good. Why? because he was afforded time to step into his throws and throw the football. If you look at the Dolphins-Bills game, the difference between Tua this week and the last 3 weeks, Tua didn't have time. The Bills were getting to him. And really, we don't focus enough on the offensive line because we have no idea what's going on there and who plays, and they seem interchangeable. But Zach Wilson was impressive last night, Mikey. We might have a quarterback. I mean,
I will tell you who really impressed me yesterday, Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
I don't know what he changed with the play call, but there's all this motion that wasn't there before. They were setting guys up. They made it very easy for Zach Wilson to make good throws, and to his credit, he did.
Yeah.
It was weird.
it was.
I didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do either. I was excited. I mean, you get Aaron back next year and hopefully 2 more years out of him, and then Zach Wilson for the next 15 after that.
I was going to say Aaron was there also yesterday. We didn't even mention that.
Well, Taylor was there.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Why do you think Zach Wilson played so well?
I mean, listen, the reason I like Taylor at the game is, A, it makes the game feel bigger. B, I am walking or prancing around my living room last night, and I'm going, it's not all fun and games, Taylor. Not all fun and games. I'm yelling at her. When I thought the Jets were going to win that, like, she came to see a Chiefs victory. She thought every week was going to be like last week when Travis scored a touchdown, and I'm wagging my finger at her going, it ain't all fun and games, Tayller.
Yeah, you showed her.
I didn't. Oh, God. That loss hurt, Billy.
The Bills are good, huh?
Yeah, the Bills are are
really good.
Since the Bills lost to the Jets, they are the best team in the NFL. And Josh Allen is probably, I'll have my top 5 quarterbacks through week 4, but Josh Allen is probably, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Josh Allen had more touchdowns and incompletions yesterday.
It's amazing.
He had a perfect passer rating.
I know. They've won the last 4 games by 28 points or more, I think. Or the last 3, excuse me.
It was an ugly one for the Dolphins yesterday.
It was. How'd you feel? I mean,
not great. No, not great.
Right.
I mean, if you lose one against the Bills, lose it now. You know what I mean? If you're going to see them later in the season in the playoffs, lose it early. But
right.
yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Get that one out of the way. Then you take the pressure off. Because the last thing you want to do if you're the Dolphins, right, is you want to have that uncomfortable situation where you're looking at a perfect season and you have the guys from 1972, the 3 of them that are left out there rooting against the Dolphins to have a perfect season.
There's more than 3. Fuentes made the same same gesture I made. There is more than 3 living 72 Dolphins.
I'll find out how many.
Mercury Morris is still alive. Merc, yes.
Yeah.
Is Zonka still with us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he went missing on a boat, but he was okay.
I saw him at the Hall of Fame last year. Zonka is still with us.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like most of them are actually still with us.
Yeah.
Is Bob Greasy still with us?
Yeah, Grease is still with us.
Grease is still with us?
Why wouldn't he be?
28 members of the 72 Dolphins are still alive.
See? That's what I said.
You said 3.
Well, 28's more than 3, so I was right. 3
Right.
still with us. Stephon Diggs also really good yesterday. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration with a beer, which I'm surprised, honestly, that like something doesn't come of that, right?
Right.
What happens? So like he smashes the beers in front of his face and then he like makes the thing. What if he takes a sip? Is that the line? Like if he drinks a beer during a game, is a line crossed?
I don't feel like it is.
I don't know. I don't know where the line is.
As long as it's a sponsored beer, you're fine.
Okay, that's
You see Sean Payton.
That's just a great answer.
You see Payton cut off his sleeves mid-game?
Not for him.
Why? What do you mean?
Over Sean Payton.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
Sneaky the best game of the day yesterday, huh?
What, the Bears and the Broncos?
Broncos-Bears.
It's a good loss for the Bears. I got to be honest with you.
Is it?
It is. Yeah. A must-lose game, and the Bears wanted it more. I mean,
Well, Justin Fields figured it out? Question mark?
I don't know. They don't run Justin Fields anymore. It's crazy. Like, Justin Fields might be the best running back in the NFL.
I don't think that's the case.
Billy, look at the numbers last year towards the end of the season. It was 110 yards a game, I think, every game as a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But he did have 4 touchdowns yesterday.
A fumble.
Eberflus, whatever his name is, whoever he is, that guy's on the hot seat. I mean, they had a 4th and 1. He tried to get him to jump off sides. They didn't jump off sides. He put the offense back in and went for it anyways.
Started
and
getting
he said, I like the way we were running the ball.
No.
Why were you trying to draw him off sides? Just run the ball.
Got a little cutesy there. Pulled a Staley, which, by the way, we'll get to him because he did it again this week. Same exact thing. Guy doesn't learn a lesson. He keeps getting bailed out, keeps doing the same stupid crap at the end of the games.
Well, he gets bailed out 50% of the time.
Oh,
they're 2-2, right?
That's true. I suppose.
Sometimes he doesn't get bailed out.
Bears blew a 24-point lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tale of two halves.
Yeah, not good. Franchise record, largest blown lead. Bears. There were weird good games yesterday. Commanders-Eagles was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Colts-Rams was good. Another horrible blown lead, by the way, by the Rams.
I think we need to get some sort of loosey-goosey segment going with NFL teams because the Colts, the Rams, like, are they good?
I don't know.
No.
Are they good?
I feel like
Are the Commanders good?
I feel like I don't know. I have no idea if the Commanders are good. I honestly I have no idea. I feel like they're good. They're in every game. Here's what I know in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know the Bills are good.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Dolphins are good.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Ravens start every season 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels like it. Okay, that's what I know.
And then what happens?
I don't know if anyone in the AFC South is any good. I know the Chiefs are okay.
Are okay. You called them the best team in football
I said
5
maybe.
seconds ago.
I said maybe the best team in the NFL, but something's just a little off in Kansas
what about
City.
the
I don't know
Bucks?
what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but Taylor.
What about the Bucks? 3-1.
The Bucks are good.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he's back.
Do you think the Browns regret that yet?
Deshaun Watson did not play yesterday.
Didn't play yesterday, no.
I feel like last week the Browns were okay with letting Baker Mayfield go, and this week they probably wish we should do that every week. A Baker Deshaun, yes, we should do that. A state of
Regret
affairs
meter?
in Cleveland, yes.
A regret meter?
Yes, I think this week Cleveland regrets it, but last week Cleveland was fine with Deshaun Watson.
DTR looked not great yesterday.
No,
he was
not
getting
great.
beat up all day long.
Yes. I know the Eagles are good. I know the Cowboys are good. I know the Lions are good.
I don't understand how you know that the Lions are good, but the Chiefs are maybe.
Bad conference.
Got it.
I know the Vikings should be good. So close to being so good. And
49ers are
Best
very
quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, and the Niners
good.
are good.
49ers are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Baker?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
You have to wait for my rankings.
He played his way out of the first ballot yesterday, unfortunately.
Did he really?
Even in a win, yeah.
Russell Wilson played his way back in. We'll talk to Lucy next. We have a lot to get to. Lucy is here. It's very exciting. We have Billy's big board bets. I don't know. What were you last week, Billy?
Last week? Well, don't worry about last week.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, last week I went 1-2, but
Right.
it was. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Because I had a team of +2, and then there was a late field goal that they had no business making. Don't worry about last week.
All right. We have a Fuentes top 5. We have top 5 quarterbacks through week 4. Send us stuff. And Lucy or Goosey. So we have a lot to get to here.
My favorite
God
is
bless.
stuff. Keep sending us stuff.
Someone sent you stuff, no?
Florida sent me so much stuff.
I'm so jealous.
All the stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I got a cool water bottle and a nice hat and a penny and a belt bag and so
penny.
much more.
Lucy and I were having a conversation before
Yeah.
the show, and I think that this is the way that this segment should work because, Lucy, I don't know if you caught it. So you were telling Stugotz all the stuff that you got, and this is not send us stuff yet, so we'll get to that. But I don't know if you caught it. So you
Here
were
he
telling
goes.
Stugotz all the stuff that you
Yeah.
got from Florida.
Yeah.
And he was jealous
Oh, he was
of
very
all
jealous.
the stuff
I
that you were
was,
getting.
yeah.
And he was like, why don't you bring some of that stuff? Maybe my wife wants some. We're like, no, this was sent for Lucy. So maybe I think
thought it was send us stuff, not send Lucy stuff.
Well,
No,
this
this
is-
one
that's
was
all.
send Lucy's
I'm insanely jealous.
this is what I'm thinking. I think the segment should be send Billy and Lucy stuff, and then we'll send it to Mikey A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If he wants it.
Always there for me.
Yeah.
I do.
It'll be nice.
I
Good
know.
segment. Yeah.
I know you do. Oh God. College football. We'll get to Lucy Goosey here in just a second. Billy has new cards. This is very
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I don't think anything excites Billy more than the Monday morning God Bless football show. I don't know why.
Weekends excite me more. Spending time with my family excites me more.
Okay, sorry, my bad. But this is a close second, right?
Sure.
Why'd you make me feel bad?
I
there?
don't know.
You really- there was
I
no
pay
reason.
football.
There was no Fuentes. There was no reason for him to say that.
It was a little bit of a cheap shot.
It was. I mean, I enjoy football more than I enjoy my family, but that's just me. I mean,
Same.
right.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Agreed.
Yeah, my brother's.
I went and visited my family
Yes!
this weekend. I enjoyed the football more, and it was Iowa. That's really tough to do.
Huh.
Put it on the poll. Who does that? What do you enjoy more? Football time or family time?
Hmm.
I think football time.
Football time.
What stood out for you with the college football slate? It was a fun weekend in college football. It really was. Yeah.
It felt like kind of a come down after the week before, just with so many ranked matchups. But we saw a lot of really close games. Georgia does not look the way we expect Georgia to look. Auburn had their way and was so close. This is the first time I've watched Georgia and felt like they weren't a dominant team. That it was not clear that they were better than Auburn was. And they're not bad, but they're not great. Peyton Thorne wasn't very good at Michigan State, but he had his way with the Georgia defense. Their offensive coordinator refuses to throw the ball to their best player, tight end Brock Bowers.
Right.
The bad thing about this, though, is although Georgia did not look as good, they are still going to coast through the rest of the season. They will go undefeated, and they will most likely win the national championship.
I mean, that game at Auburn it's a dangerous place to play.
It's really tough, and this is not the Auburn team from last year or the year before. They brought in a lot of transfers. They have a new head coach, but Georgia is not light years ahead of everyone else like it has been the last 2 years, and it feels like we're in this wild, fun state where we're at week 5, and it's wide open in the college football world. The SEC doesn't feel that strong. We don't know how good Ohio State really is. Maybe Penn State's a problem. Georgia's not as good. It's really fun.
They play Kentucky next week, but you're still insisting here because Georgia has not looked right the entire season. You're right. I said last week on our main show that something's off in Athens.
And you were right.
I know.
100%.
But they have Kentucky, they have Missouri, they have Mississippi, and they still have Tennessee. So there are some tough games for a team that's not looking right, I'm saying. You know?
I do think they have tough games, but this Georgia team has very much the vibe of oh, okay, we might keep it close against Mizzou. We might keep it close against them, but blow Tennessee out.
Right.
It's one of those weird teams where you're they're gonna beat the teams they should by a little, by a lot, and then vice versa.
Did you enjoy the Colorado game?
I had USC. And so I did not enjoy it. USC minus 22. That was pretty tough for me. Felt like a lock at half.
It sure did.
It was not. I think it's a really good example of one, how open the Pac-12 is, because although USC is probably the most talented team in that conference, their defense is very, very bad. Jess and I were talking about it earlier this afternoon. And
well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Look
You're
at me.
a pro.
I'm learning.
Earlier this afternoon, right?
And we talked about how
well, you would have been safe with earlier
You're
today.
fine. Yeah,
Even
matter.
if it's 5 in the afternoon, it's
I think
earlier
I thought
today.
too hard on
Yeah,
that one.
don't worry.
I think I thought too hard.
But at least you're thinking.
But I am
at this
thinking.
time of the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's so late in the afternoon.
It's so late in the afternoon to be
so
thinking.
late.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Almost, late in the afternoon.
Late
That's
o'clock.
crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we were talking about USC's defense and how Lincoln Riley's been a head coach for several years now, and it feels like we've never seen him coach a team with a good defense, and this USC team is following that rule as well. They cannot defend worth. They are not good at all. And so they're just going to score a lot more points than you do, because we're in this world where if your team is very good at defense, it doesn't score points. It's really funny, and people will notice and pay attention to that. But if you put a lot of points on the board, no one's going to get that mad at you.
Right.
And that's what USC is. So I'm really excited to see them really get into this Pac-12 slate with Utah and Oregon State and Washington State, a really, really strong conference this year. This USC team will falter at least once, if not twice, if not more.
I mean, they still have, I'm looking at their schedule, Notre Dame. That's going to be a tough game. That's at Notre Dame. They still take on Utah. They take on Oregon at Oregon. That's going to be a tough game. I said USC would make it to the playoff before the season just because of Caleb Williams. If he has to outscore everyone, he will outscore everyone.
It's wild because the two best quarterbacks in college football right now, Caleb Williams and Drake May, both have terrible defenses.
Right.
And we're not going to see, I don't think either of those teams have a shot at making the playoffs, definitely not UNC. It's one of those things where it's so lopsided for that offense. Caleb Williams is insane, but that defense was a year ago, they were tackling each other. They were tackling each other. They are ridiculously bad.
Are you ready for Lucy or Goosey?
I'm always
Ooh,
ready
we're going
for
to do that
Lucy
here?
or Goosey.
Yeah, I was thinking, why? What'd you want to do?
Well, I don't know. We're going to still talk about things. Ole Miss stormed the field. I don't know
go
how
ahead.
Lucy felt about that.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry, Billy.
I understand the argument with we have to stop storming the field. People are going to get hurt. I totally get it. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm a person where I'm look, I understand that, but storming the field is a fun core memory in college. I'm never going to get mad when someone storms the field.
Wait, how many times you stormed the field?
We stormed the fields 3 or 4 times.
Really?
What?
Yes. Iowa always wins one wildly big game at home. So my freshman year, we beat number 3 Michigan on last second field goal. And we stormed the field. My sophomore year, we beat Ohio State. We killed them. It was 55 to 27. We've never scored 55 points ever, and we haven't since.
That is worth storming the field for, yes, because normally you're storming the field after a 9-6 victory.
Yeah, that's normally how it goes. That was Michigan, and then we stormed the field against undefeated Minnesota. That one wasn't as fun. That one was okay.
You can't storm the field against Minnesota.
Yeah, you can't, but we did it, and it was all right. I was on the field for that one.
You're acknowledging that you can't? You know that, right?
No.
You knew it as you were doing it, right?
I was working as media for that game, so I was on the field in front of the student section being guys, should we do this?
Yeah.
You guys really think that's a good idea? I was you know what? I'm just going to get out of the way.
Yeah,
I left.
If you're
went
on the
to
field,
locker room.
Yeah, you need to either get out or go to the middle of the field because you're going to get trampled, I would assume.
My freshman year, I got trampled.
Oh, my God.
And so I went down. My friends were gone. I was so this is it. I'm going to die. And then the next thing I noticed, I know a football player is picking me up and carrying me. He's I got you. I was oh
what?
my God, thank
That's
you
very
so
nice.
much.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
It was a while because he just dropped me. He just picked me up, dropped me down, and walked away. My unspoken
Time
hero.
out.
Wow.
Right. He sensed that there was going to be a problem for you.
Well, I think he might have almost stepped on me or something. And so he was a large guy. He had to be a lineman. And so he scooped me up.
Right.
And was I got you, dropped me off, and then he had to run to the locker room.
Wow.
He saved my life.
Amazing.
What game was this?
Not all heroes wear capes.
Exactly. This was Iowa, Michigan in 2016. So if you played football for the University of Iowa in 2016 and you picked somebody up on the field, that was me.
But still, you have no idea who it was?
No. He was he picked me up.
What?
And was gone.
Wow.
Huh.
That would be of the 3 field stormings, and if you had to die in one, that would be the one, right? Yeah.
That one was tough.
The Minnesota one.
Minnesota, I was
a little dicey.
You lost your life for Minnesota. I don't know about that.
Ohio, I can't remember if it was the Michigan one that year, but someone ripped, or they didn't rip it, but someone stole our quarterback's helmet.
Oh.
And they wore it out to the bars.
That's the thing about those.
It was really cool.
When you steal something, you can't really flaunt it, right?
Oh, they flaunted it.
But remember when Tennessee that beat Alabama? I think it was Alabama where they took out the field goal post and they were walking around with the broken field goal post. It's you can't just walk around with that.
Well, you can. It's college football. Yeah. It's what college football is all about, Billy.
I mean, I suppose.
You rip out the goalpost, you walk around town with them. Yeah.
Well, they threw that in a lake, didn't they?
They threw one in a lake, and then a frat got the other one and sawed it and was giving pieces of it out to people.
Yeah.
What are you saying? If you steal the goalpost, you got to hide the goalpost? How do you hide a goalpost?
I'd be afraid of getting arrested, honestly, for having these things. If I had the quarterback's helmet, I'd be this is going to be a problem for me. Let me not show people that I have this.
I don't think they got arrested. I don't think they got in trouble. They did give it back, I believe. They gave it back, but they took the helmet and they were wearing it downtown.
Huh.
Mad respect.
Who was the Iowa quarterback?
CJ Beathard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Would you storm the field now or the court now? Or you think?
I would never.
No?
Iowa would need to score points for me to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
But I'm saying, do you guys believe that there's an age thing? It should just be college people, or if you're in the game and you're feeling you'll get on the field?
I don't think it should be an age thing, but for me at this point, I've almost died once.
Yeah.
And I had it 3 times in college and it was special.
Right.
2 out of the 3 times.
But that angel came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but someone saved my life.
Right.
So maybe that was a sign I shouldn't do it.
Did you see the angel's face?
No.
It's just a rush.
It was a very quick, you're up.
I got you.
I got you, and he was gone.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
I think we should have every lineman on the Iowa 2016 team until we figure out, because that person's going to remember doing that for you. Yeah,
not necessarily.
I'm sure I wasn't the only one who almost died that day.
Yeah, I mean, you just pick up a bunch. If you see bodies on the floor, you just kind of pick it up and keep it moving. That's your role.
Are we sure it wasn't a Michigan lineman?
Right.
No, it was definitely Iowa. Michigan got off the field really, really fast.
Wow.
Billy, I do think there's an age limit. I feel like only college kids should be storming the field.
So I never stormed the field in college. If my team were to have an opportunity, I think I'm past that. I don't think I'd be able to.
I think it should only be if you're in college.
I don't think it I think if you're young, I think it's fun and you should do it.
Yeah.
I think the college kids should be the first out there. If you want to trickle down at the end, get your little picture, experience the moment of being on your field.
Well,
that's
there's always
fine.
the schools where someone gets stuck in the bushes because they try to jump and they
people,
can't get out of
break
it.
legs.
Yeah.
An Ole Miss student got decked by an LSU player this one.
Yeah.
Like,
They're stuck on the fence.
Yeah. With like a super wedgie, they flip forward, the whole thing. Yeah.
Lucy or Goosey next.
Things have gotten heated here
They have.
in the commercial break,
Right.
where we continued talking about storming the field and what the rules are to storm the field or not.
Yes.
I was telling Lucy I had one opportunity to potentially do it at FIU,
Right.
and it was the last game at the Orange Bowl. So like UM famously played at the Orange Bowl forever, right? So the last year at the Orange Bowl, FIU also played there because they were redoing their football stadium, but it was obviously much smaller crowd. So it was like, they were in the middle of coming off of a completely defeated season, and then they were like 0-10 headed into the last game of the season. So they're looking at like 22 straight losses or something, right? It's like very bleak times. And then they win that last game. Mario Cristobal is the coach. He's on the sideline. So then like everybody's lining up. And when I say everybody, I mean like 250 people are lining
that's
up
crazy.
Right.
to storm the field.
Yes.
And then like 8 security guards are like, no. And then everyone's like, okay, we won't do that. And that was it. That was the chance. Like 8 security guards in the last college football game played at the Orange Bowl. This was after
Right.
UM lost by like 40-something points in their last game. It's like the last actual college game at the Orange Bowl. FIU won. They snapped like a 22-game losing streak. And there was like 300 of us ready to go on the field. And they're like, not going to happen.
So if there were 3,000, you would have stormed the field. These are your odds.
I was ready to go. I was ready to go, but then also I was like, this is worth going to jail over. Like, I don't know. My whole life is basically like,
It's
that's
thinking.
the question.
Yes.
That's my whole question. Is this worth going to jail over? Every single decision I make is
It's not a bad judgment. It's will I go to
It's
jail?
gotten me
Yes,
well
I'm not
so
doing it.
far.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
far
yeah.
it's been okay.
Not bad. It's a good strategy.
It's worked out.
Mike Fuentes had a great example of a game that we should have rushed the field that you said, Stugotz, that you absolutely should not rush the
I
field.
think it was a 2009 Little Caesars Bowl. It was
You can't do
FIU's,
that, yeah.
FIU's first bowl
No, I'll
win.
stop you
game.
at Little
T.Y.
Caesars Bowl.
T.Y.
I mean,
Hilton dominates.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we win our first bowl
They
game.
had a
Yes.
hook and ladder play.
Springboard
It was a
game?
whole
The hook and ladder.
yeah.
Yeah. Remember? Such a good game.
Lucy, at the end of the
Was it
game,
Louisville?
because it was sponsored by Little Caesars, at the end of the game when they won, it was their first bowl game, their first win. They came from behind and they won it on like a trick play. Then they kick a field goal to win. And then everybody's celebrating, and no lie, they're like jumping up and down in a circle, like with their hands in, and what they're chanting is "hot and ready"
Yes!
because it's Little Caesars
That's
Bowl.
so
Yeah, it's so
cool.
great.
Yeah, but you can't storm the field for
Oh,
winning
you
that
had
bowl
to.
game.
I
listen,
think
storming
It was
the
in
field should be-
Detroit. It was
No,
in Detroit like December 28th. Like people were like missing Thanksgiving or Christmas and New Year's to go to this game.
Storming the field should be reserved for like the greatest upsets of all time. Like,
Well,
it's,
that was one.
I mean, for FIU, that is.
Yeah,
get
that's
out
right.
of here. It's
I think
a
they
Little
played
Caesars
Toledo.
Bowl.
Right, Toledo.
The
I
Rockets.
keep thinking about that season that they beat Louisville that year. I'm confusing them, but I do think they beat Toledo.
Dude, that was the
Toledo
year
was like their nemesis for like 3
they
years.
beat
in bowl
UCF.
games,
They
yeah.
beat Louisville. Like, they had a chance. They were others receiving votes for 1 week. I was so
Yeah,
excited.
they were 8 and
Right.
4, I think, when the season ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't storm the
I don't think
field for
even.
8-4 to Little Caesars Bowl win.
I think it may have even
think
gone
you
down to
can.
like 7-5 or 6-6, and it was like they just became bowl eligible. Anyway, what are we talking about? Loosey Goosey?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm distracted.
We have a lot to get to. We
I
have
know.
Santa stuff. We have Lucy or Goosey.
Yeah, Mikey A, where do you stand on storming the field, real quick? Because you had something to say there. I saw it.
Look at me. You think I'm ever going to storm the field? No, I'm not getting down. All I'm thinking about is, how many steps to get back up? No,
Right.
I'm done.
Right.
Mm.
You're throwing blocks, though. I would follow you. That's what I
Oh
would do.
no, yeah, I'll get you to the field. I'll get you there.
Okay. All right, Lucy or Goosey time. This is very exciting because Billy has printed out new cards for you. Are you
Yeah.
excited for these?
This is nice paper.
Have
Yeah,
you seen
it's-
them yet?
It's thick. No, I haven't
Okay.
looked.
It's
All right.
cardstock.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
You're so proud of yourself.
I had to go look in a special drawer to find the cardstock. Well, because my thinking was if I get an extra sheet of paper, it becomes like
It's
flimsy and not
sloppy,
the best.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was put it on paddles, but we don't have paddles. So,
Oh.
Got it.
We could just like glue them on. We can. make
yeah.
it.
Well, the thing is the paddles. I could have taped on like if we had popsicle sticks or something. Maybe for next week, arts and craft project.
Do we have phone lines yet?
No.
Arts and crafts.
Jesus.
No, we
I
don't.
mean, what do we have to do?
I don't know.
Okay. You've given up on the phone?
Well, I mean, I was doing this.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
lot of
Lucy or
work.
Goosey
Yeah,
cards.
exactly.
I got it. And your big board and your bets.
Well,
and all
yeah,
that.
and then people
Yeah.
sent us stuff. I had to
Okay.
organize
They
that.
Oh,
sent
God, we got a lot
us
to do.
stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly
send
right.
us
Send
Send
us
yeah.
stuff.
It's not
Billy
me,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
You too. Exactly.
You have stuff. You don't need more.
Got plenty of stuff. You're right.
Just
Just
not any Florida stuff.
none that fits.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we
You
go.
go
Lucy-
buy stuff.
I do buy stuff. I'm very good at that, Mikey. I mean, my wife's very good at that. I mean, I don't ask for anything. All right, Lucy or Goosey, are you ready? Now, listen, I know certain teams you're Lucy on. Like, I don't need to ask you the same teams. I just base these off of what happened this past weekend and who's coming up this weekend. Okay? So we will start here with a team that I don't think many people thought would be undefeated. Well, the schedule was easy, but they are undefeated nonetheless. So Lucy or Goosey, Kentucky. The Kentucky Wildcats. They're undefeated.
Ooh.
Okay, so Mark Stoops, Iowa guy. You have to root for him. But I'm not, they haven't played anybody. I'm going Goosey. This Florida team, also, I really like this. This Florida team that they beat, although they are one of my favorite teams now because of the stuff they sent me, send us stuff.
Right.
It's not the best litmus test for how your season is going to go. Graham Mertz is a really erratic quarterback. Kentucky is consistently at this point where I expect them to go 8-4 every year, and I think they're happy with that. And that's what I expect this year as well. I mean, I know the SEC isn't as strong as it once has been, but Kentucky still has to play Georgia. Like, Missouri's pretty solid. I can't fully buy in, but 8-4, hell, I'll even go 9-3.
Wow.
I like the idea of being content with 8-4 every year.
Yeah.
You know who you are. You know, this is just what we got to get to.
Yeah.
Can't be too disappointed.
Seems easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Iowa.
Yeah, it's a little close. It's a little close to home.
Who does Kentucky have next week? I'm trying to look it up here. If only my computer
Was that
worked.
Goose from Maverick?
Yeah.
That's Goose from Maverick.
Really
Yeah.
well done.
For the audio
No,
crowd.
that is Goose from Top Gun.
That is Goose from Top Gun. Maverick.
And
yes.
Maverick,
That's Rooster's
Yes.
dad. That's Rooster's
exactly.
dad.
In Maverick,
Correct.
Goose is already dead.
Yes.
Whoa, spoiler alert.
that's a
Jeez.
Whoa.
It only came out 38 years ago.
I saw it for the first time 2 years ago.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I didn't see it before the
Me
new
neither.
one came out.
It was pretty good.
I was like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, at the time, it was the biggest thing in the world.
Well,
Yeah, well, I wasn't alive then.
exactly.
Kentucky plays Georgia, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Not happening?
That'll balance it.
One of the four.
You just said something's a little off in Georgia.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Georgia will win.
okay. All right. Oregon State is undefeated. They had a big win on Thursday night. I think you like this team. I think you're Lucy on this team. But Lucy or Goosey, the Oregon State Beavers.
So Oregon State actually does have a loss to Washington State. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to
but
say.
but it's a really
My bad.
it was a good loss. It was a competitive game.
forgot
Oregon
about
State
that.
beat the heck out of Utah.
No one watches bowl, remember?
Good loss.
Yeah, who was my pick for Pac-12 champion. This Oregon State team is really, really good. I love the way Jonathan Smith has built this program. He's done it the Oregon State way, which is just like, hey, we know we can't recruit that well. We just need to find guys that fit into our system. They don't need to be the most talented. They just need to accomplish what we want to accomplish. DJ Uyunglele, he's not the quarterback we thought he was going to be at Clemson, but he's fine. He's sufficient. He gets the job done. Oregon State's an incredibly well-rounded team, and I hope they do well this season. It's really sad what's happening to them, but Oregon State is actually a solid, good football team. They won 9 games last year. I could see them doing that again, getting up to 10 wins. Just as tough with the Pac-12 being such a competitive league this year because it's already starting to cannibalize itself. So they will have another loss in there somewhere, but they're very, very good.
All right, let's go to, I believe this team is undefeated, Louisville. Lucy or Goosey on Louisville?
I'm gonna go Goosey. When we're starting with Louisville,
Thank you.
this is they changed their head coach this year. They went to Jeff Brom, who is a Louisville guy, and so they're leaving Scott Satterfield behind. And he was kind of the weirdest coach in Louisville history, if you ask me, outside of obviously Bobby Petrino, in the sense that he was actively looking for other jobs the entire time he was there, and he didn't really build much of a foundation. They beat NC State this weekend. NC State is not very good. Brennan Armstrong is pretty disappointing. Jack Plummer was with Jeff Brom at Purdue. There are a lot of chances to win, but I don't think they're a particularly great team. I think they're sort of middle of the pack. The ACC will regulate itself as every conference is done. Because right now, week 5 is always such a weird place to be because so many teams have played really tough schedules up to this point. But there are also a ton of teams who have yet to play anybody and still may not play anybody for a couple weeks. So I'm not going to confidently say that Louisville is Lucy, especially when they have some growing pains. You have a new head coach, a new quarterback. It's just going to take some time.
Well, they have Duke, Miami, and Kentucky who are all ranked still.
Yeah, that's
but they may
tough.
not be.
They have
That's
Notre
tough.
Dame as well.
Yeah.
That's really It'll all come back together.
All right. Maryland also undefeated in the ACC. I like this team. They have a good offense. I really do. I think this team is pretty good. Lucy or Goosey on the Maryland Terrapins?
I'm going to hold up both Lucy and Goosey.
Really?
I like
Wow.
Ooh, I
job.
got the Lucille Bluth on this one. I'm going to hold up both because Maryland in September is always something a little different than Maryland in November or October. They are a very good offensive team. They have a great quarterback, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in football right now. They play Ohio State this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep it within 2 scores against Ohio State. I think that's manageable.
Okay.
I still don't think they have the talent that's going to make them competitive in the Big Ten East when you have, all right, you're going to have to face Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State every year, which is just absolutely brutal. I like this Maryland team. I think they could get up to 9 wins. I'm not going to say that they'll beat Ohio State this weekend.
Okay. That's fair. Missouri is undefeated. They take on LSU this weekend. They're 5-0, Missouri. LSU, tough loss over the weekend. Missouri, Lucy or Goosey?
This is also
it's a tough one.
This is also one I want to hold up both for, but I'm feeling kind of wild. I'm feeling a little crazy. I think we're going to go Lucy for Mizzou.
Wow.
Not that I buy into Eli Drinkwitz whatsoever, but this Missouri team has shown they're really gritty. They could have lost that game against Kansas State. They won on a 61-yard field goal. I think the reason why I'm Lucy on this team may not necessarily be what Mizzou has to offer, more that, all right, this is a wide open year in the SEC, unlike any year before, especially in the SEC East, where, yes, Georgia is there and they are very talented, but they're not as strong as they once have been. This feels like a year where Mizzou could be competitive. They have maybe one of the best wide receivers in the country. I really like this Mizzou team. 10 wins is, I think, the ceiling.
What are you smirking at?
Because I'm looking at the clock and I want to just throw things on the table that we were sent.
All right, last one, though. Oklahoma, Lucy or Goosey? Do it while she's doing this.
Okay.
Yes,
No,
Lucy
no,
or
no,
Goosey.
no.
They take on Texas.
I don't want to be rude.
Just quickly, Lucy or Goosey on this. They take on Texas this
I think
week.
I'm going to go Goosey because I'm really high on Texas. Oklahoma gave up, I believe, over 20 points to Iowa State this weekend, and they are a very, very bad team.
All right.
I think Oklahoma hasn't really played a ton of competition yet, but they are looking better than they did last year, and their defense looks a lot better than they normally have. But I'm really high on Texas. So.
Excellent.
Ready to see what we were sent, Lucy?
Yes, what did we get?
All right, ready? Send us stuff.
What is that?
We got some coffee this time. Yeah,
Wow.
it's from Iowa. Wake Up, Iowa.
Wake Up, Iowa. Where
Yeah.
in Iowa?
Oh, I thought it was a brick of cocaine. Oh,
Oh, why would someone mail us that?
I don't know.
Yeah, so thank you to Jarrett Mitchell who sent us some coffee from
it's
Iowa.
Iowa City.
Yeah,
I was
it's from
there this
Iowa City.
weekend.
Yeah. So we got some
Ew.
coffee. We also got some drinks of some kind. But
Really?
Yeah, but we have sponsors.
Why are
so
you
I don't-
saying it like that?
Well, because we have sponsors and I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, they sent us some drinks over here. So yeah, if you want to, I don't know our address, figure it out and send us stuff. Me and Lucy, not Stugotz.
Yeah.
So 3 people sent us stuff?
No, we got 3 boxes from the same guy, Jarrett.
And
yeah,
it
he sent
said
a bunch of
to
stuff.
Billy
UF.
and Lucy.
It actually literally said that on the name. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Go to hell, Jared.
Oh.
Lot to get to this segment, Billy. We're always cramming a lot of stuff into this last segment here.
We are, it's true.
Yeah, we got Billy's big board bets.
Brought to you by.
Ignore. Brought to you by. Anyone yet? No.
Well, there was talk before this
Some
that
scuttlebutt?
Mike
Yeah.
Fuentes might be the sponsor. He was offering $1
Really?
to sponsor. So we have to maybe see what that leads to, but it may be brought to you by Mike Fuentes next week. If
All
no
up
one
to
comes in.
$2. How about that?
Okay. Well,
I
now,
won't engage in a bidding war.
now, friends, we have a bidding war.
Yes, we do.
And this is how you engage sponsors. The meat company that sent us meat the first time actually reached out to me and asked me if they could sponsor. So did a hat company.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know how this works. I just come up with the segments. You have to talk to the salespeople.
Right, call sales.
Exactly right.
Did
I
you
don't know
send
how
them to
this works.
someone at sales? I mean,
No.
no. So it just died right there with you?
Well, here's the thing also is if we have a sponsor, then will people stop sending us stuff? You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
Well, that's
No,
a
but
different segment.
Exactly. Send us stuff is not sponsored.
How about this? Here's a segment we haven't discussed yet that we can just touch on very
But sponsors
briefly.
pay. I mean,
Very briefly. I mean, not me. Very briefly.
Good
Here's
point.
the game.
Yeah.
Young, Richardson, Stroud, week number 4. Right now, CJ Stroud's running away with it. He's 3-0.
yes.
I feel like this may be the first week that we could have someone else receiving votes.
Really?
Yeah, you don't think Anthony Richardson could get votes? He led his team back. I mean, they lost the game, but
They
he
were down big in the first half going into the
That's
second
not on
half.
him. He doesn't play defense.
I know, but he's still running the ball too much. Like Trevor Lawrence told him, like, hey, it's the NFL, stop doing it. And all he does is run the ball.
He keeps getting hit.
Right.
He keeps getting hit. Okay, so I'm just going to put down CJ Stroud then. 4-0-0 for CJ Stroud at the moment.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's
You're
I think it's a
calling
wrap.
it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, to be
It's
fair,
week 4.
the only 2 games the Colts won, Gardner Minshew was quarterback.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Listen, if Richardson gets the ball in overtime, the Rams did not want Richardson to have the ball in
That's true.
overtime.
That's true.
That's true.
But in the first half, I was thinking the same thing. The Colts are better with Gardner Minshew. And then in the second half, I regretted thinking what I thought in the first half. Like, that's what happens. The NFL. Things happen quickly.
Puka
Man.
Nacua. Great, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. I don't think we even have to go any deeper into that.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Oh, Mikey, the Jets.
No more Jets talk. We have things
You're
that we
the
need to
one
get
who was
to.
all fired up about the Jets this
yeah,
morning.
we did that already. We have
Yeah,
a
that
top,
was like
we
2
have a
full
top
segments
5.
ago.
Exactly
By the
right.
way, Tennessee did what Tennessee does. I can't figure that team out. I'm telling you, we will find a cure for cancer before we figure out the Tennessee Titans.
What is that? We're not talking about Tennessee.
I just felt like I'm just giving NFL thoughts. I'm bouncing around on a Monday morning.
The only thing
Joe Burrow.
to talk about that game is the Bengals. Exactly, Mikey A's
Oh,
right.
Joe
It
Burrow.
looks like Joe Burrow, but that's not Joe Burrow.
Who is that?
I have
Wait,
no
what does that
idea.
mean? Wait,
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I've never seen that man before.
The same Joe Burrow that Stugotz declared the best quarterback in the NFL.
How about this? How about Jamar Chase? Huh?
What?
A little controversy
I'm
there.
always open.
Yeah, where they're like, well, is it, maybe you don't have enough time to get open. He's like, I'm always open.
Yep.
I like it.
Just
Little
throw it my way.
controversy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what losing will do to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey and I have witnessed it for 40 years.
Here we go, Jets again.
All right. Anyway, Billy's big board bets. What do you want to do first here? We have top 5 quarterbacks through week 4. That's mine.
Yeah.
Mike Fuentes is a top 5. And you have your Billy's big board bet sponsored by blank.
Let's go to Mike Fuentes' top 5 top 5 list.
Okay.
Quarterbacks is Stugotz.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
Okay,
What
this
is your top 5 list?
This is the top 5 frauds through 4 weeks.
I like
in
this.
the NFL.
I mean, I could tell you number 1.
Okay, you know number 1. I'm fired up about number 1. We're going to start at
Okay.
number 5, and that's going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Really?
They have one loss. That one loss to the Eagles, which are a okay team. The Vikings and Bears and Saints are their wins.
The Eagles are an okay team?
Yeah, they're okay.
Oh,
And number 4, Jordan Love.
We're moving on
An
quick
okay
on
4-0.
this.
We got to be fast. We got a lot to going on here. He's okay.
He
Jordan
gets
Love.
it.
Yeah, Jordan Love. His stats are way better than he is. You watch those games, he does not look that great.
Okay.
But the stats tell a lie. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's why before he said the Eagles
got
are an
it.
okay team because they were on his list.
If you go to overtime against Commanders, you're not that great.
well, just because of that?
Yeah, they have 6 wins on the season. The teams they've played are terrible. Okay.
Wow.
Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys.
Who has 6 wins?
Wait a second.
Who
We're
has
only
6
week 4.
Yeah,
How do they
who
have
has
6 wins?
on the season?
No. Their teams they've played against have 6 wins. Sorry.
Oh,
so
got
it's-
it.
Combined 6
Oh,
wins.
combined
yeah,
6
I was
wins.
Got
confused
it.
there.
So
Okay.
now we're on to the Dallas Cowboys
Thank
at number
you for
2. I'll give it
stopping.
fanfare.
Moving too fast on this.
Why
I
are you moving
appreciate
so
that you want to
fast?
get this
Right.
done, but we're
I
going.
can see the clock here.
I
We have
can't-
7 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
7
plenty
minutes
of
and
time,
30
don't worry.
seconds.
Top 5 takes a minute.
Yeah,
But just Billy saying Billy's big board bets or whatever takes
Brought
at
to
least
you by-
90 seconds. Thank
Yeah.
you. Look, I didn't even say it right. It takes at least 90 seconds.
That's
Billy's
2:30
Bets
though.
big board
I mean,
brought
take
to you
your
by-
time. Slow down,
Okay.
man.
Get
We'll
it
do-
right or pay the price.
We'll do this. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys.
Is that a threat?
Now, the Dallas Cowboys, they only have the combined wins of all their opponents is
Yeah.
4 wins. And one of those wins is against them, which is the Arizona Cardinals. They haven't played anybody with more than 2 wins on the season. And next game they play the 49ers. They will be exposed.
Well, I mean, they're 4 weeks in. They haven't played anyone with more than 2 wins. There's
If you
only
play-
3 weeks of
If you
of
play 2
possibilities
teams, you
headed
play
into
2 teams that
4.
are 3-1. That's already 6.
You
They only
play
have
who's
4.
on the schedule. I mean,
Yeah, but they're frauds.
But you can't.
they play the Giants and the Jets. You can't. You
Okay,
can't.
that's his list. That's his list.
You're right. I'm sorry.
They played the Cardinals, the Giants.
Yeah.
Last night, they played the Patriots, which are also 1-3.
Jets.
Not okay. There you go.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Fraud number 2.
Right.
And number 1, the big fraud of the weekend, big fraud for the past few weeks is Vic Fangio.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
He got exposed yesterday.
So
Yesterday.
bad. So bad. You saw it in week 1. Chargers ran for like 300 yards on them. It's just Staley. Staley gave him the win.
Yeah,
You know.
that guy.
Then yesterday. Kohu. What a day to forget. Whole career to forget, if you ask me. He was terrible. He was so bad. And then they just leave him on an island out there against Diggs. Diggs
Right.
scores 3 touchdowns. Just leave him out there. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Xavier Howard having a cup of coffee on the side of the field.
Cup of coffee.
Really?
That's Mike Fuentes' top 5.
That's wow.
Was he actually having a cup of coffee on the other side of the
I didn't hear his name all day. So.
It'd be so great if he did. Set up shop, just sipping espresso on the other side of the field.
I bought a coffee machine last week, and I don't know if I want to keep it.
Why?
And my wife's like, "You can return it. It's been long enough." But I've already made like 3 coffees.
So why? What's going on? Too much coffee? Because when it's right there, it's hard not to drink a lot of coffee.
She tells me that it's a little watery, it's a little watered down, so she doesn't like it. And for me, it's like, you want to know the problem that I'm actually having with it is that I cannot sit down for like 3 minutes to actually drink the coffee. So like I will make it and then I'll put in like the creamer and I'll put in the sugar and then I'll like start drinking it. And then something will happen in my house that I need to tend to. So then I go and do that. And then I'll come back and then I take another. Yeah, Mikey's rubbing it in my face, drinking his coffee. Then something else will happen that I'm just constantly on the move. And by the time I sit down, it's cold. And I'm like, yeah, why did I buy this?
Send us a coffee machine.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Send us
some coffee. I mean, this wouldn't work in this coffee machine because.
Well, you have the coffee. Now I need the machine. Send us stuff.
It's not a K-cup, but I'm not going to say what kind of coffee machine
The entire
it is.
time Billy was talking there, I just kept imagining.
Hey, guys, we need to get back on track here. We're running out of time.
Howard at an espresso bar on the other side of the field.
Gabe Davis is there with him.
Gabe Davis is he good? Is he not? We'll never know.
Gabe.
We'll never know.
He had a touchdown yesterday.
Very weird year for the NFL. Very weird.
Chris Sims, every week when we talk about the Bills and how they're good or whatever, he really does not like Gabe Davis. Like as much as he doesn't like Tua, he is so intent on saying
down Josh Allen.
Yeah, he is so like Gabe Davis is the problem with the Bills. It's the strangest thing. And then every time I see him, he's like, touchdown here, touchdown there.
Yeah. Josh Allen lost to the Jets week 1 and is taking it out on the rest of the NFL.
Yeah.
He is not messing around.
What's your top 5?
Okay, top 5 quarterbacks through week 4.
Wow.
Okay? Through week 4. Number 5. This is a constantly changing top 5.
This is a big week. No OLIs for anyone. We all stuck to 5. How about that?
I got 5 for you.
We're on time here.
Number 5. Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you have an OLI, Mike, that you didn't do? Okay, good.
He's 3-1. He's having a season. I think 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, number 5. Number 4. Someone we discussed earlier, Billy. CJ Stroud.
Wow. Is this his first time on the list?
I mean, yes, first time on the list.
Wow.
Yep. He has crept his way into the list at number 4. They're 2-2. They're a good team. No one expected anything from this team. CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback. Number 3 is Tua.
Wow.
Yeah. Couple steps back for Tua this week.
Yeah. Was he number 1 last week?
No.
Then it was a step
He was
back.
number 2.
He was number 2. Yeah, one step back.
And then he took 2 steps back.
That's because someone else, number 1, had to take a step back to number 2.
Yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
How about the Texans, with CJ Stroud?
What about him?
I mean, so they had Deshaun Watson, and he was a great quarterback, and then he didn't play for an entire season, and then they trade him. And like last year was kind of like a bridge year. And they get CJ Stroud, and CJ Stroud has been great so far.
They got the right guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seems like it.
They got the right guy. Chris Sims was on with us last week. I'm not going to play the sound for you. It's long, but he was on last week, and he raved about CJ Stroud. I've never seen Sims react to a rookie quarterback like he did when I asked him about CJ. Well, Zach Wilson.
He's all over the place.
Zach Wilson.
Hit or miss.
I mean, but Sims might be right on Zach Wilson.
Number 2?
He might have the last laugh, Chris Sims. Number 2, Kirk Cousins.
Wow. That's high.
I mean, he was number 1 last week. They got their first victory, so the Vikings are creeping back into playoff contention, but it's not Kirk Cousins' fault. I mean, he is the reason they still have a shot this season.
Adam Thielen revenge game. We didn't even get to that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Mm-hmm. Number 1, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Best quarterback in the NFL the last 3 weeks, for me.
All right, Stugotz, it's time for Billy's Bets Big Board, brought to you by. We don't have a sponsor currently, but we discussed that. We have 2 minutes to get through 3 picks here. So last week I was 1-2, bringing me to 3-5-1 on the season.
Not terrible.
But these are things that have just happened. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not in a sports gambling state. Now, if I was, these are bets that I may or may not feel strongly enough to be inclined to place a bet on. So the first one today, Seahawks -2.
Wow.
Yeah, they take on the Giants. I feel good about the Seahawks in this one.
We should be rooting for the Giants, though.
Why is that?
Well, because you're friends with their media relations guy, Pat Hanlon. He loves you. And, we want to try to get Dave's on and try to get Daniel Jones on. And,
Seahawks never lost at MetLife. Daniel Jones never won on Monday Night Football.
There you go.
Something's got to give. Yep.
All right, my next one is going to be Kenneth Walker III over 80.5 combined rushing and receiving yards. This one seems like a lock, and I can't believe that it's even this low. Wow. 80.5 receiving and rushing yards for Kenneth Walker III.
All right, I'm writing these down.
Are you?
Yeah, that was over 80.5?
Over 80.5 combined receiving and rushing yards.
Receiving and rushing
combined,
yards.
80.5. That's what I'm telling you. It's very easy, this one.
All right, 80.5.
Now, here's the one that I am not the strongest feeling on. Again, these are ones that maybe I would feel strongly about. Yeah, I would maybe feel strongly about. It took me a while to find this one. I wasn't sure if I like this one or not, but I'm going to go with Graham Gano over 1.5 field goals in this game.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a high-ish scoring affair. So I feel like the Giants are going to be trying to put up points, and I feel like Graham Gano is going to kick 2 field goals. I don't know that Daniel Jones is going to do it with touchdowns, but I feel like Graham Gano is going to kick some field goals for us tonight.
Graham Gano still kicking, huh?
But he's only had
Yes.
I think he's had 1 game of 2 field goals this year. So this is the one that I'm not feeling that strongly about. But this could be the week that I get back on track if I was in a sports gambling state, which I'm not.
You know it.
Wow. That was it.
God bless football.